Hello everybody and welcome to Greg's Vintage Workshop, where I'm working to restore history one piece at a time. Tonight we're going to be looking at part 5 of the Phillips B5X04A radio, and we're going to get the first power up done on it, and I'm going to start trying to get this cabinet back in shape. If you remember, it fell off a chair and fell all to pieces, so I got to get it all glued back together again. I want to get some stain on it. And then ultimately we're going to put a new cover on the top for that material that was on there, but I don't think that's going to be in this particular episode. So without further ado, let's get started. So I got the new tubes in. I got all tubes installed. So I'm ready to do a first power up. I've got the, let me show you what I got here. I got the speakers both wired in with jumpers, and we're adding some power here. Now I changed the power setting on the radio itself from the 110 that it was set on to 127 because my power usually here at the house is usually running around 129, 130. I'm not sure if that's going to come through, but if you can see that, it's showing current voltage at 129 right there, so we'll see if we can, yeah, there you can see it. So I'm going to start turning the power up on the radio, which the radio's on right at the moment on the FM, and we'll start turning the power up on this till we see some voltage. Now if you see over here, you can see the voltage here going up. We're at 32 volts right now. Pulling about 60 milliamps right at the moment. Turn it on up. We have some lightage going on in the radio on the dial indicator lights. You can see that lit up now. Now you can see it lit up. Okay. Alright, so let's go on up. Take it up to about 70 volts. Make sure we got the volume turned up a little bit there. We're a little brighter on our lights here. Okay. Let's take it on up to 90 volts ish. There's 96 volts. Don't hear anything yet. Well, actually I do hear something. Hear a little bit of something. Let's go ahead and turn it on up. Take it up to 115-ish, 117 maybe, 118, 119. Now you can see the current has pulling about 440 milliamps, so you can see the current has dropped down now to 125 on the actual multi-function panel. Let's pull out a little bit. See, we've got bright lights over here, and we'll move over a little bit so I can start turning the tuning dial, see if we can pick anything up. That sounds pretty good. I'm going to have the speakers here a little bit. speaker, but definitely working.
Henry County Rocker, 1047 WJRE HD3 Gelb and W284CV Kewaunee, Rock 1047. Rock 1047. Rock 1047.
Alright. See what else we can pick up for anything.
WLLR FM Davenport. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Free never sounded so good.
As 2024 is coming to a close, we're getting ready to celebrate the past year of music
At our 2025 iHeartRadio Music Award.
500 timeshare cancellation company. Our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a
to go gliding in the one-horse sleigh.
There's been a tripling of theatrical releases since the year 2000, and streaming services are full of true crime shows, deep dives into sports, and the likes of Tiger King on Netflix. But before all of 1994 film Hoop Dreams, about two Chicago high school students and their hopes
Well, I would
of
say
becoming professional
that
basketball
power-up
players.
was a success because that's the most reception. Now, granted, I'm on FM, but that's the most reception I think of any radio I've got here. I think I picked up like 6 or 7 different stations here. But
Templin also produced the 2018 documentary.
we got plenty of volume. Alright, so just turn that down a little bit. Okay, good. Well, that's fine with any type of alignment on it. So now I just gotta figure out all these other buttons and see if we can get anything on AM as well. So I'm gonna stop it here and see if I can figure out these buttons. Okay, so I was doing some tests on this radio a few days ago, and I managed to get my arm up against this section of the transformer, and I got bit pretty good. And the way this is designed, as you can see, these protrude out quite a ways, these protrude out quite a ways, and there's really nothing to guard from it. Now granted, the average person ain't going to have their arm in there, shouldn't have their arm in there. But I decided, since I have the 3D printer, I could make something that would protect me or anybody else in the future. So this is what I came up with. There's a part that sticks out right here. There's a part that sticks out below that I can pinch this center section and also have this stand it back away. This is not going to create really any heat, but I figured if I make it so it stands off a little bit anyway, and then of course the wings are covering the stuff both from the rear and from the side, and that'll snap right in there pretty good. Now I'm going to throw just a little bit of clear silicone on it as an adhesive, just to make sure that it stays in place. It actually snaps in place really well and shouldn't really even need this clear silicone. Okay, so the clear silicone was dried up, so I got a little bit of the gray silicone that I had used on the washing machine. But that should work. So it's not going to take much. You should be able to just put that right in there and snap it right into place like that. And when that silicone sets up, that sure as heck ain't going to go nowhere, because it's actually in there pretty solid because of the fact that it's snapped in place. But that way I don't worry about having to get bit, and nobody else in the future has to worry about getting bit. So that'll be good. Another thing I wanted to show you guys, let me kill a light here. One of my Christmas presents I got up here. There we go. Zoom in a little bit. And I'm hoping to be able to maybe utilize this some in some future videos, but this is one of those cameras, close-up cameras, with get it up here, we can see the end of it here, maybe. There it is. But I made a bracket for it that mounted it to my bench there that'll hold it in place so that I can come up to radios, and if I need to look at something, you know, you can kind of see. I can get in close to things and look down in tube sockets, or look at maybe some capacitors or something that I can't read the value on or something, and I can get in there and get that. So I think that's going to come in quite handy. I can get in, and it has magnification and such, but I put it at a height that I can look at it very easily while I'm manipulating the part. So there's the part we just snapped on there. But I think that'll be a handy addition to the shop. I just wanted to show you guys that. So this is that front piece that was broken off, as you can see here. I thought that this was plastic, but it's actually Bakelite, and the paint coming off really good when I started cleaning it, so I decided to just leave the paint on there for now while I glue this. I got both pieces cleaned up really well, so hopefully the super glue will stick pretty good. But we'll go ahead and see if we can get this glued on here real quick. I figure that if I wait and sand it after I get the super glue dried, then I can get the paint at that part at that point in time. So I'm just going to put some super glue on here and see if we can get this thing to stick. Down here is a screw slot, so alright, let's see if we can get this thing on here. Looks pretty good. It looks like it glued on there pretty decent, actually. So what I'll do next is I will sand this down and give it a very light scuffing, and then I'll buff it. And on this side I will sand that one down, and I'm going to lightly sand all of this surface off and dull this Bakelite finish so that the paint will stick to it better. I think it'll turn out pretty good. Okay, let's see if we can keep some paint on here. It's 50 degrees out, and humidity is only like 30%, so it should be fine. But this paint is not the youngest paint either. This paint's probably a year old at least. So hopefully it'll go on there decent. With a light coat to start with. kind of okay. Looks kind of okay. I won't know till I get one more on there. I almost see, I think like a little couple fish eyes on there. Take some lacquer thinner, wipe it back off again, and try it again. Okay, we'll give it a shot again. Let's see what happens this time. Mist a coat on there. Not too carried away right away. Let that sit a minute. Looks like it might be okay. I'll bring you back when I get it on there. We'll see what happens. As I showed you all previously, this thing had a misfortunate accident, or it fell on the floor and broke into three major pieces. The top, which goes in those slots, and that's okay on that side. And then the top over here, which isn't okay because it broke out that major section there, and that bottom's broke off of that. And then, so there's the piece that's still part of that, which has also come loose right here on that block. And that block's okay. Those blocks are okay. So I've got to get this glued back together again. I want to put a new piece of material on this because it's got the cigarette stain. It's all stained. It's got some sort of a glue stain besides whatever that stain is. Just beside being cruddy. My daughter has a piece of material similar. I don't know. Let me figure something out. I got to clean that all up too. Okay, so this is that top, and I'm going to try and strip this material off of it. Don't know how well that's going to go, but we're going to give it a shot. This is the one brace block that was busted loose. I didn't bother taking the rest of the missing wood off of it because that's got to glue back. But I got this block glued back in place, hopefully in the right spot. And I loosened this edge just to see how it was going to come. This felt was stapled on there like that because I think that's where the glass for the dial front goes up against that, so we'll keep that. See if we can get this to feel up. Okay, well, it's pretty tough stuff is what I got to say, and trying to use some heat, but it's not going to come very easily, so I'm not going to record this. I'll just bring it back after I get it off. Well, I got it off. It didn't come off very gracefully or very peacefully, and that was a fight, but it's off. And it don't look too bad. I'm going to go over it with some sandpaper to smooth it out a little bit, which is probably not even all that required. You see the cigarette burn there. It's not got any depth to it, luckily. It's just there. It'd probably sand right out, but I'm not going to be too worried about it. But yeah, it's off. That's all I can say is it's off. Well, since I dropped that radio and broke it all to pieces, I had to go to Harbor Freight today and buy 4 new clamps, 24 inches long, so that I can be able to clamp it all together once I start gluing it together. I was quite impressed, actually. These clamps are very nice for only $6.99 each, and 30% off each because of the fact that I don't know, it was this close after Christmas or something, but basically I got the 4 clamps for 21 bucks, and darn, that's just really reasonable. Thank goodness for Harbor Freight, huh? So there's one of my Irwin clamps that I've got that, I don't know what I spent those for many years ago, but I got 4 of those, and you can see why I had to go with the 24 inches, because the ones I got weren't going to even come close to being able to clamp this case. So, but yeah, I know I spent probably at least half for that one clamp as I did for all 4 of those that I got today, so pretty good deal. So these 2 end pieces each had a decorative piece that looks round from the front, but it's actually kind of a third round on the top, and then the rest is a metal insert that goes into a slot. And so I mean, it went in here like that and mashed in there and smashed it down in there, right? Well, this one's pretty boogered up, and I don't know how well it's going to show on the camera, but like this is really smashed flat here, smashed flat here. Got some issues here, and it's not real brass because I tried to clean some of it on the edge just to see what would happen, and it's a thin aluminum is what it is. Very thin aluminum, very easy to bend. So, you know me, I can't leave well enough alone. So I ordered some brass rod, solid brass rod from McMaster Carr that is slightly smaller in diameter of what this is. This measures like 2.3 millimeters in the width here. What I ordered was 0.081 of an inch diameter. Comes in 3-foot lengths, about a couple of them, and it's supposed to be here in, I don't know, probably 4 days, 3 days. And what I'm planning on doing is trying to bend it to the correct angles and stick it on here. Now the way this thing was maintained, besides having the part to smash it down in the groove, there was a little staple on each end that holds it in, and I'm hoping that if I open that groove slightly with some sandpaper on a very sharp edge, so I make a V, that I can get that rod to sit in there secure enough that once it's all bent and staple on the end, that it will stay in place. Maybe some strategically placed super glue in a couple locations, but I think I want to do that and make it look better. I'm going to clean these up and see how they clean up. Maybe touch it up with a little Howard's and see how it turns out before I do that. Okay, so I've been working on these wires. That's the thing I took out. This is the straight brass that I got off of McMaster Carr. This one's completed, and I'm using it as a pattern for the second one after I made sure that it fit on the first one. And hopefully you guys are in camera to see this. There we go. It's in there perfect. So now, take that one back off because that was for the other side, not that it matters. I've already started bending this one by using the first one as a pattern a little bit, and I've gotten to that point right there. And we're actually in pretty good shape. I'm going to give that just a little more tweak before I get to this side right here. Just a little more right there. It's definitely a process. And then this one's going to start to bend right here, but I got to be careful. You can't put much pressure on this. So what I've been doing is taking a marker and making a mark about where I think it needs to start to bend, and then grab it with a pair of pliers and try and give it a little tweak. And I don't know if I'm off camera for you guys doing that or not, but trying to show you the process here, and then I'll finish it up off camera. Yeah, so that's pretty good right there. You guys can see that. I just got to go a little bit further with it. and then down. That's it. So I'm going to get that done and we'll see what we get. Alright, I got it all the way around. I flattened it so that this little staple that holds it in can be on there. Hopefully you guys are getting all this. Same thing on this side. So, looks good. So I got them for both sides now. So, that one goes on there. Still have to flatten the edges on this one. But it's good to go. Hopefully you guys are getting all this on camera. So I can flatten on that one, and that'll be pretty much it for that until I can put some finish on it. Okay, as you guys saw, I got that thing all glued back together again. It's all in one piece now, and looking pretty good. All the hardware inside, I've de-rusted it all and got that all shined up and coated in T9 Bow Shield. Looking good. Have a piece of missing veneer in that corner. I don't know if you can see it. Let's see if we zoom in on it. Yeah, right there. Piece of missing veneer. I'm gonna mix up some of this JB Weld for wood and stick in there, and a couple other spots that need a little assistance. She coming. Okay, so I'm out here in my garage. I was out here yesterday. It was like 34, 33, somewhere in there. And using lacquer thinner, I removed all the old finish from the sides of this radio. Really, the sides is the only thing that had anything on it. So today I'm out here with some English chestnut wood stain, and we're going to throw some on there and see what it looks like. Hopefully it looks alright. It says to go with the grain, and we'll just kind of stick it on here. You put it on and wait like, I think it said 5 to 15 minutes and wipe it off. So we're going to stick it on here carefully. Hopefully I'm not getting it on myself because I got my good jacket on. putty in there, but I'll probably colorize that with some lacquer toner. Alright, let me let this dry out some. We'll see what we wind up with.